The year was 1984. The air hung thick with the anxieties of the Cold War, the boom of neon-soaked arcades, and the promise of a future still shimmering just beyond the horizon. But for some, the 1980s held a different kind of terror, a lurking shadow that consumed innocence and left behind only whispers of dread. This is the story of one such shadow, a chilling tale of a 17-year-old girl, a suicide note, and a serial killer who stalked the streets, a predator preying on the vulnerable. Her name, for the sake of this narrative, will be Sarah. Sarah was a girl on the cusp of adulthood, navigating the turbulent waters of adolescence. She worked a part-time job at a local diner, juggling school, friends, and the burgeoning desires of a young heart. Like many teenagers, Sarah wrestled with her own demons. That day, those demons had taken a dark turn. She had written a suicide note, a desperate cry for help, or perhaps a surrender to the darkness that seemed to be closing in. The reasons behind her despair, the specific words she penned in her final message, remain unknown to us, lost in the vault of unanswered questions. That night, under the cloak of darkness, Sarah finished her shift at the diner. The clatter of plates and the cheerful chatter of customers faded as she stepped out onto the street. The air was crisp, the streetlights casting elongated shadows that danced with the night. It should have been a simple walk home, a familiar journey that she had taken countless times before. But tonight, something sinister lurked in the shadows. The diner, a beacon of warm, fluorescent light and the aroma of frying onions and coffee, was situated on a well-trafficked but increasingly desolate stretch of road as the evening wore on. Cars were fewer now, the hum of distant traffic a muted lullaby. The town itself, a place where everyone knew everyone, was usually a comforting blanket, but tonight, its familiarity offered no protection. What Sarah didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that she had become the prey of a monster. A man, his name lost to the annals of the Unsolved, was on a killing spree. In the preceding months, he had already claimed the lives of 8 other women, each a victim of his calculated brutality. The details of his crimes, the specifics of his methods, are largely obscured by the fog of an unsolved case, but the chilling pattern remained. Vulnerable women, snatched from the streets, their lives extinguished with a cold and calculated efficiency. The first victim, a young woman barely out of her teens, had disappeared from a bus stop on the outskirts of town. Then another, a waitress leaving a late-night shift at a different establishment. The terror began to seep into the fabric of the community, a creeping dread that tightened its grip with each subsequent disappearance. The killer seemed to choose his moments meticulously, striking when the street was quiet, when the shadows were deepest, when potential witnesses were scarce. The case file, a testament to the relentless search for answers, grew thicker with each passing day. Sketches of the killer were circulated, descriptions were broadcast, and the community was on high alert. Police officers, their faces etched with exhaustion, canvassed neighborhoods, interviewed distraught families, and chased down every flicker of a lead. They were a dedicated force, driven by a potent mix of professional duty and the palpable fear that gripped their town. There were theories, of course, hushed whispers and hushed tones. Was he a transient passing through? A local man hiding in plain sight? The descriptions offered by the few fleeting glimpses were frustratingly vague. A man of average build, often seen wearing dark clothing, his face obscured by a hat or the gloom of dusk. The media, initially a source of information and reassurance, began to amplify the fear, painting a grim picture of a town under siege. Roadblocks were set up, patrols intensified, but the killer, a phantom in the urban landscape, evaded capture. The relentless pursuit of justice, the tireless hours dedicated to the case by the police and those close to Sarah, slowly began to hit the limits of their abilities. The investigative team, led by a seasoned detective whose own nights were now filled with the gnawing weight of unsolved cases, pored over every detail, every shred of evidence, searching for a pattern, a single thread that would unravel the killer's identity. They interviewed dozens, then hundreds, of people, painstakingly piecing together timelines and alibis, hoping to find a crack in the killer's carefully constructed anonymity. The case, sadly, remains unresolved to this day. Sarah's fate remains unknown. Her body never recovered. Her story a haunting echo in the annals of unsolved crimes. The killer, his identity concealed by the veil of the unknown, continues to walk free. A chilling reminder of the lack of closure remains a wound that refuses to heal, a perpetual source of anguish for Sarah's loved ones. Her parents, once vibrant and full of laughter, were now shadows of their former selves, their faces permanently etched with a profound sadness. They clung to the hope of a breakthrough, poring over newspaper clippings, replaying every conversation, searching for a clue they might have missed. Her friends, too, carried the burden of her absence, the gaping hole left by her disappearance a constant ache. They would gather on her birthday, sharing memories, their youthful voices tinged with a maturity that had been forced upon them too soon by tragedy. They are left to grapple with unanswered questions, the agonizing pain of never knowing the truth, the burden of uncertainty that accompanies every passing day. The impact of the unsolved case reaches far beyond the immediate tragedy of Sarah's disappearance. The community, once vibrant and safe, was forever scarred. The fear that gripped the town, the erosion of trust, and the enduring sense of vulnerability are all testaments to the ripple effects of violent crime. Neighbors eyed each other with suspicion, once familiar streets became fraught with unspoken dangers, and a collective sense of unease settled over the town like a persistent fog. The case became a symbol of the fragility of life, of the importance of vigilance, and of the profound impact that unresolved crimes have on society. It was a stark reminder that monsters could walk among us, their intentions hidden behind a facade of normalcy, capable of shattering lives in an instant. Today, Sarah's story serves as a chilling reminder of the past. The details are scarce, but the emotional impact remains palpable, a testament to the enduring power of human empathy. We can only imagine the fear that coursed through her veins as she realized she was not alone, that the familiar shadows of her walk home held a terrifying secret. The unsolved nature of the crime only amplifies the tragedy. It forces us to confront the darkness that can exist in the world, the evil that can touch our lives, and the lingering pain that accompanies unanswered questions. It's a testament to the tenacity of the human spirit that despite the fear, the community, in time, began to rebuild, to find moments of joy again. But the scar of Sarah's story remained, a quiet ache beneath the surface. This case also highlights the struggles and the realities of families impacted by such crimes. The loved ones left behind carry the immense burden of grief, uncertainty, and the unfulfilled yearning for justice. They must navigate the legal system, endure public scrutiny, and strive to keep their loved ones' memories alive, all while coping with the devastating emotional fallout of the crime. They are the unsung heroes, the survivors who persevere in the face of immeasurable suffering, advocating for answers, and keeping the flame of hope alive, even in the darkest of circumstances. For Sarah's family, every anniversary of her disappearance was a fresh wave of grief, a reminder of the life that was stolen, the milestones she would never reach, the future that was extinguished before it could even begin. The story of Sarah, a young girl whose life was stolen, will forever remain etched in the annals of unsolved crime. It's a haunting echo of the past, a reminder of the fragility of life, and a testament to the enduring power of hope. The unanswered questions, the missing pieces of the puzzle, will continue to haunt us, challenging us to seek answers, to never give up on justice, and to always remember the victims whose lives were cut short by the cruel hand of violence. While the details of the case remain shrouded in mystery, the emotional impact of the case lingers, a constant reminder of the profound impact unsolved crimes have on individuals, families, and the communities they inhabit. The search for answers and justice is far from over. The echoes of her story continue to reverberate through time, a somber melody played on the strings of loss and the unyielding desire for truth.